Good evening everybody, hope you're all well. Welcome back to the Bird Room. I'm Shane from Direct Bird Products and half of the Evans and Pondins team. Some know us with the birds, obviously with the greenfinches and stuff, but different story. Today is a good friend of mine, Kevin Horgan in Cork in Ireland, has very kindly done me little clips of videos on some of his birds he's breeding and how he's breeding his birds. And like I said in Wednesday's video, he's off to a flying start this year, and all credit to him. So yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of information on things that he's doing, and it's always good to see different perspectives from different people, showing you how they do things. And I always think it's brilliant that other people sharing information with everyone else. So here's a bit from Kevin and obviously his two little helpers. So yes, sit back and enjoy it, and I will be back shortly.
Hi folks, my name is Kevin Horgan from the partnership of P&K Horgan in Cork in Southern Ireland. I'm doing this video for Shane. This one is about natives, mules and hybrids, or British, where you are. How I suppose I got started in birds was I'm lucky enough to be third generation in birds. My grandfather kept them only up to 6 months ago. My father kept natives before that, but it's gone more into foreign now. I'm lucky enough that there's the fourth generations are coming through with my daughter and my two young boys. So what I'm going to do in this video is just give you a fast look around my shed. It's nothing spectacular, to be fair. It's bog standard, rough and ready. That's just the way they are. Some of the cages will look dirty in the video because I won't go near clean out cages when I've hens sitting or young birds in the nest. What I hope to do with this is just give you an insight in the way that I have my birds and what I keep them in. The shed I have, our bird room, is 30 by 12, concrete shed, flat roof, no insulation, and to be fair, my windows probably stay open 52 weeks of the year. Whether it's snow, sleet, sun, the windows don't close. In the video you'll see that I have a couple of pairs of canaries, new colours. They're more for feeders if needed, but you know, they're nice to look at as well, so why not? I mostly specialise in greenfinches and redpoles, but this year I'm out taking on siskins as well, and one pair of brambles. Through this I will show you the cages. I don't have aviaries or flights, whatever you like to call them. It's all stock cages, 3 foot by 2 foot by about 20 inches deep. That's what they are. The canaries then are inside an 18 by 16 by about 15 deep. That's what those cages are. For the natives, for the smaller natives, I mostly use external nest pans, which you will see in the videos anyway. And for canaries, it's just normal canary nest pans hung in the back wall. For the nest material, I use coconut fibre. I will use, sorry now, this, and I'll also use cotton wool. Now a lot of people won't use cotton wool, I do, but I use a surgical cotton wool. I've been using it for years. I never had problems with getting wrapped around birds' feet because it's surgical, so it's not strands. Redpoles and siskins seem to love them. They'll finish off their nest lovely with it. Other than that, sit back and enjoy, and hopefully everything will go to plan. Okay folks, these are my canaries. That's a pair of red-black mosaic oxy. She's sitting on 5, hen underneath her on 4. It's a French mule pair I'm trying. This is a cinnamon variegated buff hen. She's actually half Irish fancy, half Fife. She's sitting on 5 with the French. This is a pair of Redigats. They actually are rearing 2 greeny young ones to me, and they've done a great job, to be fair. The greeny hen actually laid these eggs in the seed dish, and I just put them under the canary to see how they're getting on. Another pair of Redigats. She's sitting on 4. Pair of grey wings. She's sitting on 5. Another French mule pair here. She's fully built, expecting eggs off her in a few days. This is probably the best feeder hen I have, to be honest. I'm only have to put this green French cock in with her because I want to see what comes off him. She's half Norwich, half Yorkie. Outstanding feeder. Pair of red mosaics, not too much. They are basically the canaries I'm using. As I say, I don't show canaries, but they're handy to have as feeders, to be fair. So here's a fast look of what I have. A pair of cinnamon green finches in there. I don't know whether you can see them because these aren't the best cages for video, to be honest, lads. They're good for breeding. I have a miniature hybrid pair there, Goldie Siskin. I have a pair of Siskins in there, another pair in there. Lenna Bully, there's the bullfinch hen, and the Lenna cock is usually perched over this side of the cage. If you can see him, he's in good form. A pair of red poles. Then I start with my green finches. That's a 2-year-old cock. Back to a current year hen. Current year cock, and there's a current year hen up here in the nest. Below her is another current year hen. She has one young one out of the eggs, but she's doing a good job with it so far, so can't really complain, as you can see. This is another current year hen. As you can see her there. This is her young one, single chick again, but can't fault her. Then I go down into the bigger cage at the bottom. I'm trying to breed brambles this year, it's the first year with them. Current year cock and hen. After giving them 2 or 3 different nest sites, to be honest. They have a small enclosed box there. Coconut fibre felt over this side with a bit of cover. And then this big one here in the centre, there's actually a coconut felt in the centre of that as well. I have another pair of green finches up here. He's actually a 4-year-old cockbird. Back to a 3-year-old hen. They've done me pretty well, to be fair. This is just some young birds, couple of canaries, young siskins. Down here I have a normal red pole cock. Back to a cinnamon hen. This hen is actually very good rearer. She reared a lot for me last year. This is actually the pair of siskins. That's the father, or the mother and father of the young birds. Another pair of A-red siskins. I brought them in from David Lyons this year, and to be fair, I can't fault on the quality of them, to be honest. And no problem with the cocks when the hens are on the nest there. Down here is a current year pair of red poles that I bred for myself last year. See a young cockbird there and the young hen. She's actually going back down again. Down here is another current year pair of red poles. They're last year's breeding. That's the cockbird there, and the hen is hiding up top there somewhere. This is an over hen. She's sitting on 4 eggs. She's only down about 2 days. So there's a nest of 4 normals. It's a bit dark to see them, but there's 4 in there. And they're actually being reared by a cinnamon cobalt hen. They're not hers, her eggs were blank, so I just fostered the eggs up under her, and she's doing a great job on her own. She's going in there to feed them now. See if I can zoom in. There you go. No cockbird. She reared the whole lot on her own, so I have good plan. I have good hope for her the next round, to be fair. So that's the birds, lads, and hope you like them. Okay, lads, this is the seed I use. It's the Countrywide Canary with VAM. I keep all my birds on it, natives canaries all year round. That way I can add stuff to bring natives into condition or cut back if I think they're getting too heavy. This is the egg food I use. It's Wittermolen pre-moist egg food. Comes in 10 kg bags. My birds, natives, canaries, they all seem to enjoy it, and it's grand. What I will do to bring birds into condition is I will mix up some stuff into it. Just a bit of conditioned seed and little tidbits like that, and they seem to enjoy it. I use Countrywide soap seed. Find this very good. Might add 1 or 2 little bits to it, but other than that, fantastic base anyway to start with. So that's what I'm feeding them. As you can see, my little helpers have their dirty little hands inside my egg food again. They think it's a sandcastle. Okay, so look, these are a few of the mules that I use for showing. I don't mind running them through the show cages because I'm not using them for breeding. This is a lovely, clear, miniature French mule. Native French mule. I actually was lucky enough to get this bird off Ivan O'Shea. For any of you that don't know, Ivan's a great man to breed clear or variegated mules. Beautiful bird. Last year's bird. I was just unlucky that there was no shows over COVID, but I think the bird's actually getting better as it's going on. Then I have a variegated French mule. Nice bird as well. Lovely markings on him. As you say, that kind of clip. Do you know, they speak for themselves. It's either you like them or you don't, and to be honest, I do. I like light mules, I like variegated mules. This is a little dark Siska mule, a little miniature Siska mule. This bird has actually, he doesn't look the best now, to be honest with you, because with no shows and that, they don't be getting much run-outs in the cages and what have you. But this bird has done a lot of winning for me over here as a flighted mule. So they're just 3 of my miniature mules. I have 1 or 2 more. I might get them out in a minute, but what I do next is I show you the larger mules I have. These are 2 of my larger mules. They're 2 green French mules. Green French Knowledge, dark bird, and a variegated bird. The variegated bird is only a last year's bird. The dark bird, I think about 2 years old, maybe 3. The dark green French mule was actually bred by Bob Fairchild, and I was lucky enough to get this bird off Bob. For those who don't know, Bob is fantastic at breeding mules and most birds, to be fair. And I just like this bird. This is another bird that I picked up. I got him in from Mr. John McCarthy in Cork. I don't know whether John bred it or not, but it's a fine mule. Now I know there's a lot of controversy, especially in Ireland, about buying birds. Some people think you shouldn't buy a bird and show them. Other people say you should, you know. For me, personally, I believe that if you buy the bird and show the bird, that's fair enough, you know. It's been going on for a while. But the one thing I will say is, if you are showing a bird that you bought, be decent about it and actually give the breeder recognition. Don't be trying to pass it off as your own. As I say, personally, it doesn't bother me whether a fella bred it or he was in someone's shed and that man doesn't breed birds or doesn't show birds, but he's breeding excellent birds. If that man's willing to sell the bird and the person who bought him gets him ready, gets him to show us and wins with it, I have no hard feelings that way. So, they're my mules. Okay, so this is one of the red poils I bred last year. It's a cockbird. As you can see, they haven't got much showcase training with no shows going on. But just give you some example of what I have. And there's the cock siskin I got in off a good friend of mine. I'm actually going to be running him back to one of the hens I got off Dave Lyons. So hopefully I get something off of him. Okay, so this is a current year green French I bred last year. Nice bird. As I said, I mind putting the cocks into the cage to give you a look, but I won't be upsetting any of my hens with the time of the year it is. This is my 2-year-old cock bird I bred. he's a bit raggedy at the moment, though, being inside in the fly cage, what have you. He's missing his tail. He's fit as a fiddle, to be fair, even though he looks big, but there's no fat on the bird whatsoever. Bird has done well in shows for me. Then I have my cock bullfinch. I lost his hen earlier on in the season, and since I had the bully hen already bonded, I didn't want to break it up. So hopefully I'll get another hen for him after the breeding season, but I just like him anyway, so he's on a bad bird just to keep in the shed. So there's a few more for you.
Hi Shane, keep up the good work. Hi Shane, keep up the good work.
I hope you all like that. I mean, like I said, there's often bits to be picked up from different breeders now, how they do things, and it is really interesting. Over the years, obviously 30 odd years of me keeping birds, all my information and the way I do stuff now has come from other breeders. Now they do things, and obviously I wouldn't know as much as what I do know now to pass on without the information from them, obviously, over the years. So it is always good to help each other out. Just some little bits that's happening in the shed, like I said, more in the next episode, but just don't want to keep everyone in suspense of obviously what's happening. At the moment it's sort of a lull period between the first, second round, or the second round just weaning or coming into effect. It's that balance in between them all. I mean, we've got quite a few numbers of chicks now. I'm not going to go around and count them up because I don't want to show off or be behind myself from what I've aimed for. The way I see it, what happens in the shed happens in the shed. What doesn't, there's nothing I can do. I'm giving the birds the best opportunity and everything that they need to have a thriving breeding season. But yes, plenty of fives coming off. Greenfinches, we've obviously got the crossbills. There is obviously odd little clips that I will put up of these greenfinches. Like I said before, she's back on the second round. Pair over here in the second round, and some are just still at this point, still the odd pair here and the odd pair there, still messing around. It does happen. The brambles in the flat cages have just started to put bits in the nest. So I'm hoping it's not too long before they actually go to nest. They are known for being slightly later than other birds anyway. My red poles are literally, and I'm not talking like a few days ago, literally just started to build a nest. And as red poles go, for me, that is quite late. But I'm not rushing them. I'm going to leave them to it and just let them do their own thing. The other pair of red poles, the brown pastel, is a disaster with them, to be fair. Spent all that time incubating them. Cockbird was doing a fine job of feeding her on the nest, so I thought there's no issues there. He's going to attend to the chicks and do what he needs to do. Went in the morning, see obviously the eggs had actually seen the shells on the floor. Thought perfect, leave them to it. Later on I checked, she was off the nest, getting some food ready to feed them. Two young ones had actually thought perfect. Only to go back in later on in the afternoon and she was off the nest again. There was only one chick in the nest. I looked around on the floor, found the other one with a massive hole in its head, where obviously could have been one of two things. Could have been mutilated and obviously beaked in the head by either a cock or hen, or accidentally took out the nest by accident by the hen, and maybe she's been trying to peck it to pick it up or whatever. I don't know, I didn't see it, but I'd prefer to think of it as the latter, at least. And it doesn't seem to think that the bird's a killer, especially a baby at 1 day old, so I don't know. What else is going on? We've got some, the linnet with the Norwich is down on eggs. Not candled them as yet, so we'll see about those. This is a lovely young greenfinch hen here. Brilliant bird, really happy with them. Norwich, got Norwich on full eggs. They're actually due, 2 pairs are due in a few days. I think 2 or 3 days, can't remember unless I go and have a look. Siskins, the hen is back on eggs, and fingers crossed this time. With the cockbird being out, no bother, obviously he was pecking the eggs and stuff. But like I said last time, she just didn't feed it, and understanding why, one thing to remember is birds know when there's something wrong with the chicks. Half the time if they're not feeding them, they know what's wrong. Anyway, when she didn't feed them, when I went in the nest and I had a look at it, it actually had black spot, and same with the other one. So they're not going to waste the time and effort on feeding something that they know is going to die. So half the time, if an hen isn't feeding the chick, sometimes there's something wrong with it that we don't even know about. They do. So you know, we can try and swap it around. I mean, I've had the hen mix that we sell over the years that I've used that. I was quite surprised one year when the hen weren't feeding, so I topped it up and I noticed it had black spot. Within a couple of days that had disappeared. I'm not saying it's down to that. There's certain things that do happen, like Matt said at the Canary room in his video, when he swapped to a different end, the black spots seem to go away. There's certain things you can try, but whether they're proven 100% I don't know. But like I said, with the hand mix, I did successfully change it. And if you think about it in the prospect of what Matt said, obviously different end feeding, well, when I'm feeding the hand mix, it's rather like a different end feeding the chick anyway. So it could be, there could be some truth in the hand mix, and obviously with what Matt said, it could be a remedy to all this black spot rubbish, because it's a nightmare. Other birds, the greenfinch, bullfinch, she's on her 3rd egg today. Now, these have been together at least 18 months, 2 years. Last year she went to nest, laid eggs but never sat, so I am actually keeping an eye on her. She had a first round when she was over in these cages over here, same thing, she never sat. I don't think she was quite ready. But she spent a lot of time building this nest. I've actually seen the greenfinch cock feeding her, which the greenfinch bullfinch cross in itself is quite a difficult one, because the greenfinch cocks are very aggressive birds. So with the fact that he's feeding her, it's positive signs. But yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail on other things, because I want to show you that in a future episode. But before I do go, I just want to point out one thing. If you're on your transition from your first round to your second round now, and your chicks are weaned, it's really a time to start looking at them now, especially for exhibition purposes. If you're breeding birds to show, last thing you want to do is have pairs paired up and have the same, obviously, outcome from the chicks at the end of the season. Where at this point now, you could actually look at the young and see if it's actually showing good signs now that's going to develop better later on. Say for instance, all my greenfinches, this pair here, it's the older pair, a proven pair, and I know they do well. But every so often they do throw, not just greenfinches, any birds, do throw a bird that might not look to the eye to be brilliant. That doesn't mean to get rid of it. So basically, all I'm saying is check what you're looking at, and check back at your records, thinking right. Because if the nest comes out and they're all rubbish that you're thinking, it could be a mistake you're pairing up. Same with the fives. Look for your shape, look for your cut in your neck, look for the leg that you want. And now is the time to rectify it by putting another pair together and obviously crossing things over to try and better that. Because like I said, you could have an outstanding cockbird, an outstanding hen bird together. They're not necessarily going to produce the birds that you want. Sometimes you could have 2 crap birds that visually look crap produce an outstanding bird, because it's in the genes, it's in the bloodline. So just remember that. Just have a quick round, and if you are thinking about showing, have a look what you're trying to achieve further down the line for show purposes, and think right, that will do the trick. that won't, right, I may as well swap that hen around, introduce a better hen or a better cock, things like that. That's one thing you could be doing this weekend, is just having a quick look through. But yes, that's it for today. Don't forget, if you need anything for your birds, seed, drinkers, food pots, anything whatsoever, head over to Direct Bird Products on Facebook, or the website directbirdproducts.com. If there's something on there you can't find, just send me a message. You can either do it on the website or through Facebook Messenger. Can't be any easier than that. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Hopefully the weather is going to be better than it has this week, and enjoy your weekend regardless. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, leave a thumbs up if you have liked it. At least then I know that you are liking what I'm doing, and obviously I can try and improve it. If you're not liking it, send me a message, tell me what you'd like me to improve and things like that. Anyway, thanks for watching and take care.